Hello, this is a demonstration of getting audio into Reaper and doing some basic editing and playback functions in order to prepare your recordings for later use. There's several ways of moving audio into Reaper. This is one way, is have your Finder or Explorer open with Reaper also open and simply drag the sound into Reaper. And it will create a track for it if you're putting it in a place that doesn't have any tracks. And it will name that track with the name of the file you're moving there. You can use the plus minus symbols at the bottom or the plus minus keys on your keyboard to zoom in. Notice the change in the time values in the top and the time ruler. And if you wish to zoom into a specific section, so there I'm looking at 40 seconds, and then use the minus key to zoom back out again, and my recording's a little more than 5 minutes. If you wish to boost the volume or loudness of your track, which might be the case, then you can simply double click on the sound item that you've put in, and then that'll bring up the what it calls the media item properties window. And in there, if you select normalize, what that will do is boost your volume up until the point where your loudest sound is just below the 0 dB mark. Audio is expressed in decibels, and in recording they use negative values with 0 representing kind of possible point before distortion. And in this case, it boosted my audio about 17.5 decibels, which is quite loud. About 6 dB or 4 to 6 dB roughly would be about twice as loud. So that's quite a significant boost. You can place your cursor and then hit the space bar wherever you'd like to play. Or you can hit the play button icon in the transport area of Reaper. There's a stop icon, but you can also press the space bar again to stop your audio. And if you wish to start reducing your audio down to a smaller size and do some kind of overall edits, there's a few ways of doing that. One is you can place your mouse near the beginning of your file, and you'll see that it turns into an icon that looks kind of like a C with an arrow going through it, and like the letter C. And if you click and drag that, you'll see that it is trimming off the beginning of your audio file. And likewise at the end of your file, it can do that as well. And in this case, it's like a backwards C, and you can drag that over to where you like. I'll notice one thing is that when you go to do your edits, is it's not precisely getting into where, if I want to stop here, it's not allowing me. It wants me to stop at another point. That's because it's kind of quantizing the time values for, say, beat production. But for recording, for working with environmental sounds, voice recordings, things like this that are not following a metrical beat, as in like in music, you can disable the snap feature, and in that case that will allow me to place it wherever I would like to, as opposed to snapping to the closest round quantized point. Another way of cutting or selecting material is you can select material, of course, within your content. If I place my cursor, I say at the beginning of that point, and then hit the letter S, that splits my item into 2 items. And then I could place, say, another split here by placing my cursor there and then typing the letter S on the keyboard. And then I get my sound. I could, delete that sound if I wanted to. I could move it someplace else, click and dragging it someplace else. Any number of things that I could do with that. I could also delete the content before and after if I wanted to. And when I delete that content, I'm not deleting it for good. If I just place the ending of this again, drag it over, I can get my content back again. And now I'm back to my full 5+ minutes of audio. So after I've edited something, you might also want to fade an in and out for it. So let's just split there, and I'll split here, and then get rid of the rest of the content. So when I play that, I'm going to go from nothing to a sudden boop in the level. So I don't necessarily want that. So I'll fade in I can do a fade in by getting to the beginning of my sound and placing my mouse at the top left corner and dragging that over. And now I can fade in my sound. Similarly, I can do that with fade outs. So let's look at the fade out, and I can go to the top right corner, click and drag, and then I get my fade out. Okay, those are sounds. If you find that too small to see, you can make your size of your track larger by placing your mouse at the bottom of the track and dragging it. If you do it in the gray kind of area where you have the labels of the different functions and stuff. So I can make it large. I can also zoom in and zoom out this way vertically as well, which would make all of the tracks larger.